a number of people in the community are really afraid of themselves. They're afraid that if they meditate, they're going to learn the horrible truth about themselves, that they're afraid of, or that they're a terrible person underneath. I encounter people like this. They just are not ready to confront themselves because, I suppose, of low self-esteem. And maybe they've covered it over. They may seem superficially quite successful, but they don't want to look at themselves.
In 12 or 13 years of teaching retreats in this country now, taught some thousands of people, I've found that half of the work people do in meditation in the West is work of self-acceptance. Seeing the places where their hearts are closed, where they've held in their bodies, where they're afraid, where they say, I don't like this and I don't like that need acceptance. And by acceptance, it doesn't mean to follow every whim or indulgence, but it means not to be afraid or not to close ourselves off. There's a whole process in meditation in a deep way of learning to care for oneself, one's bodies, one's feelings, one's heart, one's mind. And then when you do that, you have the resources, the happiness inside to begin to care for others. There's another piece which is critical, and that is not being so afraid of what's painful. Our lives are a duality. There's light and dark, and up and down, and sweet and sour, and pleasure and pain. Yet our culture is really afraid of it. We put freeways around ghettos and old people in old age homes and dress our corpses up like they were going to some kind of a party or a banquet. Unlike India, where someone who's died is honored and some flowers are put on there, but we don't pretend they're still alive. So our culture is almost phobic about pain. We have air conditioners and heat and everything to keep us comfortable. Mother Teresa was asked in an interview one time about her life, and they said, well, it's so good what you do, but somehow it must be easier for you. After all, you don't have a car and you don't have insurance policies and all the bills to pay like we mortal people do. You don't have a family, you don't have children or a husband and so forth. So it's easier. And she said, no. And she held up the ring which symbolizes the wedding of the nuns in her order to Christ. She said, I'm married too, and he can be very difficult sometimes. And in some ways, if it's hard for Mother Teresa, you can bet that in some ways spiritual practice will be hard for anyone. So your question is right, but what the possibility is through meditation is learning in a gentle way how to open to things that are closed, how to touch places that have been hurt or been fearful or wounded in us with a gentle awareness and release them to heal ourselves and find a way to live in the present more fully.